So welcome back. I was just having a good look at the old Canon HV20. I've got to say, I've been playing around with this camera now for probably about 6 months, and this is probably the best camera that I've ever owned. I don't know if it's because the quality gets better or if because it went to HD. I recently had a trial from CanonCameraBuzz.com from Holly Jones, and I've still got the HG10, and I am loving it. However, there's something about the HV20, I can't put my finger on it. I am going to do a head-to-head in terms of having, the cameras side by side and film with them, so you can have a look at the differences. The only thing I would say is that I would take the HG10 away with me if I was going somewhere for a couple of months, or where I was going where power might be an issue. So that I didn't have to carry lots and lots of tapes. You could just blast it. But they're fairly similar, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I had this first. It's a bit like that Twitter Jaiku type feeling. I found Twitter first, and therefore that's where I sort of made my home. And I suppose it depends on the community as well. I've seen such a community grow up on Vimeo. If you've ever looked at Vimeo, or are new to the internet and looking at video sites and video cameras, check out Vimeo.com. It's one of the only hosts that I know of that supports high definition video files in 720p. 720p being 1280 by 720 pixels, which is the size of the image, and the bigger the image, that's normally one of the HD settings for 720p. Anyway, I've rattled on enough. Straight on to today's stuff. By the way, it's 1st of February. That's a bit scary, isn't it? Suddenly dropped around. However, it is Friday, and looking forward to the weekend. It's been a hectic week. Alright, straight on. So this first story is about the Asus, which has done incredibly well. The EEE-PC, which is that super sub-portable notebook. This is from Asus saying, prepares next generation PC with WiMAX and a larger display. Very big deal. They've obviously done very well from this. They're going to have such a massive following of support for the unit because of its Linux flavour, so you automatically get a lot of people making homebrew mashups with it. I even saw somebody managed to put Leopard on it, but how usable that was, I have no idea. So yeah, let me quickly go over the topic of this. You can find this at purl.com/UNBEDA, and basically they're saying they struck a nerve when it launched its £2 EEC PC sub-notebook, and they're saying that the next version, Intel and Sprint, to learn about the state of WiMAX technology, preview next generation mobile solutions, virtual selfie domains, blah 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 blah, all that bump. The real stuff that we need to know about is that they're going to use a new processor, and it's going to feature 3G and WiMAX integration. This is a huge deal, because WiMAX sounds like the ultimate solution for everybody. For me, the fact that I spoke to a guy at PodCamp Boston 2 at a meal that Jeff Pulver hosted, and he was telling me about that he'd installed this WiMAX router in his father or his family's cellar or beneath the house in a steel box, in a steel case, not thick case, but like steel unit with a mirror front on it, I presume, with all the server equipment. And he was picking up a signal 15, 20 miles away, 4 or 5 bars. So this WiMAX works, but I've not really heard much about it in the UK. I've not heard about who's rolling it out, or when it's expected to be, or even about devices. But as soon as that hits, and as soon as it's everywhere, that will be another revolution in its own way, because all of a sudden people who didn't want to go on the internet because of costs or having a phone line put in, if it's there, if it's accessible, chances are more people are going to use it, especially the more smartphones come out, in terms of the features that you get on smartphones these days, with the ability on the N95s or even the N82 from Nokia having the wireless capability. It's going to change everything if it gets rolled out. But it looks awesome, this does. I don't know when it's going to be, but Asus expects to ship 3.8 million EE PCs during the next fiscal year, and the planned upgrades to the device should ensure that the company reaches its target. Asus has done very well out of this. All of my server equipment that I've got are Asus motherboards, and from where they've come to and where they are now, and to take on the big boys like Intel and AMD in terms of, you know, making a sub notebook and making it popular as well. It was a brave move to go with Linux, or at least the, you know, the trimmed down version. But they did something that none of the others did. Is that straight out of the box, it has all the things that your blogger, video blogger, media guy, internet, you know, wannabe, whatever you want to look at, the tools were ready on the laptop with the Skype, with the mobile messaging, with the browser, with the Flash already installed in the browser. It's a big deal. Great move. All right, next thing, Associated Press. This is a completely different story altogether, in a totally different tangent. purl.com/AGNA. This I really don't. I can't comprehend this. Poor Haitians resorting to eating dirt. Basically saying it was lunchtime in one of Haiti's worst slums, and Charlene Dumas was eating mud. With food price rising, Haiti's poorest can't even afford a daily plate of rice. Some desperate measures to fill their bellies. Charlene, 16, with a 1-month-old son, which is just tragedy in itself. 16 with a 1-month-old son has come to rely on a traditional Haitian remedy for hunger pains. Cookies made of dried yellow dirt from the country's central plateau. I feel really... I can't even tell you how I feel about this, really. It just proves that whenever there's something good happening on the other side of on you know, your world, for your world, and you know, in other rich countries, that in other places we could have not been so lucky, you know, it could have been us. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean it in a way of, you know, it could be your family, it could be you, you know. I just can't even comprehend having Ella, 1 month old, and having to eat dirt, cook dirt, you know, because you can't even buy rice. I don't know. It really upsets me. Moving on to the next story, in a solemn mood, I have to say. I don't know the solution to that one, by the way. I just think that, you know, whenever we see somebody in need, we should do something about it, as little as or big as we can. And that's why I'm totally behind all the social projects. And if you are into social networking and on Twitter, you should give your time to some of these causes. Chris Brogan is a good guy to follow, chrisbrogan.com, because he gets connected with these social products. Even if you can only give $5 or $10, they work brilliantly, because the social networks get behind it and they raise the money really quickly, and it's empowerment of the highest order to be able to do these things. Alright, so I'm going to change the tone quickly because we've got a couple of minutes left. A few little things that I want to do shout outs for. I want to do a shout out for this guy. He does freelancing, Web2, business strategy and WordPress. His website's at www.adii.co.za. Really sweet design. Looks really cool what he's got here. Looking at the next thing quickly because we're running out of time. Res for the Xbox 360 is out in HD, which is pretty impressive stuff. It used to be a game. It used to be a game that got raved about because it's a completely different game in terms of gameplay and the way that you played it. And now it's out in HD, and they're selling it for like $10, which is dirt cheap. Everybody's going to buy it. It's going to be huge all over again. I think it was $10 anyway. Was it this one that was $10? I'm pretty sure it was. Okay, quickly getting on to the next one. I'll put all the links into the timeline. I do apologise. I sort of like went over the top with some of the reports today. Next thing I want to tell you about is something that got me inspired by a guy called Jeff Hibbard. You can find this at purl.com/deprav, which is DEPRAV. And basically what this is a website called icp-epi.co.uk. And it's a company in the UK that sells pre-built mini ITX systems, which are things that you can install in your car. So a lot of people are probably looking at me now going, why would I want a PC in the car? Well, you know, the whole media revolution is coming. It used to be your mobile phone via Bluetooth. Soon you'll be able to have video streaming in your car, you know, to your relatives, to your friends, on the internet. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so this is the start of February, 1st of February. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to sign up. Go to Social Ninja TV. All the links are on the top line. See you guys. Bye.